we'll take the bolster and place it underneath our back. If you have a pillow or a rolled up blanket, that works as well, a rolled up extra mat. If you just have two blocks, you can make that T shape with the block or have the one edge a little taller so that it supports your neck. So we'd want to start this morning with opening up the heart. So we're going to bring the sit bones right up against the bolster and then allow the spine to rest back. So the glutes remain on the floor. And then if it's comfortable, place the soles of the feet together, let the knees widen. You can place blocks underneath the outside edges of the thighs to support the legs. Arms open up wide, palms face up, and then just settle in. And if you find that your chin is really jutting up, place a blanket underneath the head. And that way, the chin and the sternum will be in alignment. And settle into the bolster here. Allow the body to soften. Feel gravity start to pull on the muscles and the bones. And release any of the gripping, whether it's just purely physical gripping or mental, emotional gripping. Let it go. And find your breath. And for a few moments, just watch the rise and fall of the abdomen. Smooth abdominal breathing. Inhale flows right into exhale, which flows right into the inhale. Now, if you'd like, you can add in a gentle ujjayi sound, ocean wave or whisper type sound to the breath. So that the breath feels like a wave coming in and going out, nice and steady. And then imagine that that wave of breath from the abdomen begins to grow so that the inhale expands the belly and then up into the ribs. And the exhale draws the abdomen back towards the spine and the ribs come closer together. And you can continue that for a few rounds until the breath wants to grow again. And then the belly will swell, the rib cage will swell, and the chest will expand. And then exhale, belly, then ribs, then chest. And when you get to the part where the breath enters the chest, at the peak of the inhalation, everything is in an expanded state. See if you can maintain the lift of the chest and the expansion of the ribs as you slowly lower the abdomen down, then release the ribs down, and then the chest. So the chest kind of stays in that expanded state for an extra moment or two, even as exhalation begins. And gives it an extra opportunity to stretch and release subtle tension that's held there in between the rib bones and in the muscles of the chest. And then you can add in, if you'd like, at the peak of the inhalation, when everything's in that expanded state, just a gentle pause, just a moment where you hover there before beginning the exhalation. And just tap into the experience of that expanded state, maybe even feeling a little bit of a subtle deepening of the expansion, even though no breath is entering. Now be very mindful that during that pause, you're not going to tense up the face or the jaw or any other part of the body. The rest of the body stays soft as that chest and upper back and rib cage stays expanded. And let's just do 3 more like that, please. Last one, nice and deep. And then just relax all effort, even relax the ujjayi sound, and just let the breath come in and go out at its own pace. Feel the residual effects of that extra prana brought into the chest and upper back, feeling energized. And then bring your hands together in front of your heart. Let your thumbs touch your sternum. If you'd like, you can tuck your chin so it feels like you're bowing your head to your hands. And we'll set the intention for the practice today to really consider for a moment the beliefs that we hold and what we think is possible and what we think is impossible. And I think if yoga hasn't taught me anything else, it's taught me to challenge those beliefs, that it shows us the possibility that what we thought was impossible can become possible through dedication and efforts, discipline and time. So if there's anything that you've been, having your eye on, so to speak, and yet something in the back of the mind is saying, well, that's impossible, that's something you can't do, bring that into your intention now and take a moment just to visualize it as a possibility, as something that has the potential to manifest. And then place it here in the heart and just surround it with loving kindness. And then we'll bring the hands to the outside edges of the knees and just gently guide the knees back to the center line and roll to the right side into fetal for a moment, arm under the head as a pillow, just to come off the bolster or blocks, whatever you had there. Take a moment to let the spine return to neutral. And then using your free hand, just push your bolster or blocks out of the way. And we're going to come back onto the back. And we want to align with that creative energy of the universe typically would start with our chant of Om. So we're going to do it here on our back with dynamic action. So arms down by the side, feet flat, knees bent, preparing for bridge pose. As you press into your feet, slowly roll up through your spine, one vertebrae at a time. And then as you exhale, you're going to slowly roll down, lengthening the tailbone towards the heels as you come down. And then inhale, bring the right arm up and over the head, and elongate the spine as you roll back up. And then exhale and come back down, one vertebrae at a time. And then we'll do the left side, so pressing into the feet, left arm lifts, spine lifts. Feel that stretch along the left side body. And then exhale and slowly roll down, tailbone lengthens to the heels. And now both arms are going to reach up at the same time as the spine lifts. And exhale, bring the arms by the side. So that's the pattern. Now on exhalation, we're going to bring in the chant of Om. So inhale, press into the feet, roll up through the spine. And as you come down, we'll chant Om. Right arm up, inhale. And then slowly chant. Left arm up. And then both arms. One more round, arms stay by side, inhale. Right arm up. Left arm. And both. Take a moment just to rest. If you want to TP the knees so that the tips of them touch, take a moment to do that. Resting completely, feel the spine supported by the earth. And draw the right knee in, extend the left leg long to the floor. As you pull that knee in, feel that separation of the inner thighs. Keep pressing your supporting leg away. Maybe some compression there on the top of the right thigh. Breathe here. Now reaching for the outside edge of this right foot, draw the right knee down toward the armpit. And if you want to place your left hand on top of your hip bone to secure it to the earth, go ahead. Sole of the foot's going to face the ceiling. Let the weight of the arms stretch the knee down towards the earth. This is your half happy baby pose. And we're just warming up, but let's take the outside of this right foot to the crease of the left hip and thigh. Just hold it gently. And you don't have to push the knee all the way down. Just rest the hand softly on the thigh and see where the hip wants to go this morning. So we're not trying to gain any new space, just kind of observing the flexibility that is or isn't there this morning. And then gently release that and we'll switch. Hug the left knee into your chest, extend the right leg long. Flex through the heel of that foot, draw the knee towards the chest as deeply as you can, feeling that elongation of the thighs. So there's this interesting relationship between the hips and the heart, and we often think of the hips as being a place where we store emotion. So some of those thoughts that are in the back of the head telling you you can't do something or something's not possible, they're tied deeply to an emotion, often something that was set long ago, some sort of experience that you perceived as an indication that this wasn't possible. So as we release from the hips, we have greater space in the heart, both physically, but also mentally and emotionally. So now reach for the outside of the left foot, grab on, let the sole of that foot face the ceiling, knee sinks down towards the floor. If you want, the right hand can rest on the hip bone. Keep pressing that supporting leg away. And then see how much the leg will open up, the hip will open up here as the arm is just heavy, drawing down towards the earth. Half happy baby on this side. Relax the neck, the face, the jaw. Anything that doesn't need to be engaged can stay soft. And now reaching for the outside of this foot, we're going to take it into the crease of the right hip and thigh and just, again, gently let the left knee fall towards the floor. However, if it's tight, you're not going to push it. You're just going to rest that hand softly on the leg. Just kind of take in which side is tighter. Maybe being a little more tender with that side. Good. And then we're going to gently bring the soles of the feet together, wrap the hands around the feet, draw the heels towards the glutes, and come into this Supta Baddha Konasana, this butterfly pose. Here on your back, allowing those knees to spread wide. And then we'll take that full happy baby. So hands on the outside edges of the feet, soles of the feet are facing the ceiling. Think of lengthening the tailbone away from the crown of the head. So even if you can imagine lifting a little bit in this lumbar spine, a little bit of a lift there. And then we want to bring some energy into the spine. So cross your ankles, hook the index middle thumb around your big toes, and then we're going to rock and roll through the spine. So legs will go over the head, and then we'll use momentum to sit up, but keep the spine rounded as you roll back again, legs over the head, and keep going back and forth. Make sure you're not slamming the spine into the earth. Just a nice little gentle rocking here. Think of bringing some stimulation, awareness, prana into the spine, a little blood flow. One more. And then all the way up into a seated position. Sit tall here, move the flesh, extend the arms, and just feel. Just take in that sensation, energy moving through the body. Inhale, reach the arms up, open the eyes. And exhale, forward fold. Let your chest soften on the inside of the legs, head and neck is relaxed. Now breathe into the back side of the body here. So same pattern, kidneys, back of the ribs, shoulder blades. And exhale, still pull the navel in on exhalation as everything softens. One more, relax your jaw. Then walk your hands to the right, square to that right thigh. Extend the arms out, stay in the forward fold. And anchor your left hip deeply into the floor. So make sure that doesn't lift up off the earth. Keep relaxing the tops of your shoulders, especially your left. Breathe into any area of sensation. So the inhale can intensify it, expand it, feeling that stretch, and then exhale to soften it. And then we'll move to the other side. Square to the left. Press the right sit bone down. And feel if one side is different than the other. Oftentimes we'll have more tension. And they sometimes follow these crisscross patterns in the body. So maybe it's left hip that was tight, but right side body. Breathe deeply, keep softening the shoulder. Good, one more. And then we'll come back to the center. Just check in for a second. See if you found a little more space. Press into the sit bones. Bring the arms in alignment with the ears. So you're activating the upper back as you press down into the ears. Slowly come up. Take the hands back behind you. Point them towards the hips. And now push down into the earth and lift the heart. Lift the sternum. Stretch into the collarbones. Again, that full breath up into the chest. Can you take that moment just to pause there, feeling that complete expansion before you begin the exhalation again? One more breath like that, please. And then roll off the fingertips. Once again, sit tall and just feel. Very nice. We're going to come forward into tabletop position. But then we're going to bring the elbows down into the mat, wrapping the hands around the middle part of the arms, so measure out. And then interlace your fingers, either press your forearms down or spread your palms wide with the forearms parallel. Tuck your back toes under, lift the sit bones up and back, and come into dolphin variation of down dog. So this forearm down dog is really great for the upper back when we're tight in the upper back or chest area. As you're pressing down through the forearms, there's space in the shoulders, head and neck can just hang, so let go of any gripping in the back of the neck. And then in the legs and feet, the feet are about hip distance apart, toes are in slightly, heels out. Roll the inner thighs in and back and let the sit bones lift. As the sit bones lift, it's tempting to take the heels off the floor, particularly if they don't touch. So keep trying to direct the energy down through them while you lift the tailbone higher. Relax the head and neck, make sure you're not trying through the neck. Full, complete breaths here, right into the areas that are tight. Make sure on exhalation that you're engaging the abdomen, so you're consciously drawing it in and up. And we're going to build a little core heat here, so wiggle your toes back about 3 or 4 inches. As you exhale, take your chest over your forearms, tailbone under, lower belly lifts, and then inhale, reach back up. And then do that again. Exhale, chest over forearms, tailbone under, lower belly lifts. Inhale, come back up. Keep going with your breath, your pace. Now this is personal, so you can do as many as you feel comfortable. When you need to rest, we'll come into child's pose. Just a few more. And then bring your knees to the floor, take your sit bones to your heels. If you'd like, you can round your upper back, taking the hands toward the heels, and just let the forehead rest comfortably in the earth. Feel warmth through the tops of the shoulders, let that melt down the arms. Completely let go. Arms forward, come back up into tabletop position. This time we're going to lift the heart, lift the sit bones, look up, tuck the toes, and find downward facing dog. So down dog is very similar to that forearm down dog. Feet and legs are the same. In the upper body, roll the shoulder heads away from your ears, hug your inner elbows toward one another, and press firmly through the web of index and thumb. Feel like your hands are another extension of your feet and legs. So as you press into the feet, same thing, you're going to press into the hands equally. So there's a tendency to want to lift that inner web between the index and thumb. Keep anchoring that down. And then as you're pressing into the earth, imagine you can make an imprint in your mat and then lift the tailbone as high away as you can from that. So there's both grounding and extension. And then come onto the balls of your feet, bend your knees, look at your hands, and step forward to your fingertips. And just open the feet hip distance apart. So standing forward fold, little micro bend in your knee. Just let everything soften for a moment. So we're going to move in and out dynamically from monkey pose. You can either do that with your hands on your shins, or you can hook the index middle thumb around your big toe. On your inhale, pull your chest away from your thighs, straighten arms, straighten spine. So you want to get as much space as you can, and then exhale, navel to spine, bend the elbows, release the head and neck. Repeat that again. Inhale, extension, sternum away from pubic bone, straighten the legs only if you can. You can do it with a micro bend. And then exhale, soften into it. Good. Keep going with your breath. Inhaling, exhaling. As much of a flat back as possible. Tips of the shoulder blades are down the back. Exhale, soften. Maybe finding each round you have a little more space to move. Good. Last one here. So complete that round and do one more. And we'll meet together in the forward fold. And now sweep the hands to the lower back, interlace the fingers, take the knuckles up and away, and just stretch out the shoulders. And if you want to floss through those shoulder blades, sink the hands down towards the sacrum and then over the head. And then just keep going back and forth by the sacrum, over the head, and move through the shoulder blades, especially because so many of us are more sedentary right now. Perhaps spending more time on a computer than we have before. We have to really take care of that upper back, shoulder, chest area. And then slide the hands down the back of the legs and just give yourself a hug. So wrapping the arms around the legs. Hold as tightly as you can. See if you can get the abdomen to touch the thighs. Let the head be heavy so it's traction to lengthen the neck. One more breath here. And then inhale, press the arms out to the side. Turn the palms up as you slowly rise with a flat back. Inhaling the arms up and over the head. And then exhale, turn the palms down as you come back to standing Samastiti, a resting pose, a place to reset, and to feel the effects of the practice that we're doing. Okay, so we're going to begin sun salutations at the front of the mat. Surya Namaskara C, classic sun salutation. Big toes are touching, space between the heels, hands together in front of the heart, unless you prefer to have your feet hip distance apart. Inhale, the arms reach up, lengthen through the side bodies, palms touch. Exhale, forward fold. Step the right leg back, lower the knee, top of the foot. Inhale up to low lunge, see if you can get the palms to touch. And then exhale, step back to plank position. You're bringing knees, chest, and chin to the floor for Ashtangasana. Scoop forward, tops of the feet and pubic bone ground for Cobra. Heart is lifted. And then exhale, lift the sit bones up and back for downward facing dog. Right leg steps forward to the fingertips for low lunge on this side. Left knee down. Inhale the arms up. See if you can have the palms to touch. And then exhale, step the back foot forward, standing forward fold. Inhale the arms out wide. As you lift and rise, palms touch again, and exhale, arms by your side or hands to heart, your choice. Inhale, the arms reach up again. Palms touch. Exhale, forward fold, navel to spine. Left leg back, low lunge. Inhale, palms touch, deepen the back bend. Exhale, starting in plank position to bring knees, chest, and chin to floor. Ashtangasana. Inhale, scoop forward. Cobra, shoulders are back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg forward, right knee to the floor. Inhale, open up. And exhale, step the back foot forward, standing forward fold. Inhale the arms out wide as you rise. Palms touch. And exhale, hands at your heart. Okay, let's do that again. Inhale, reach. Exhale, forward, fold. Right legs back, low lunge. Inhale. Exhale, plank position to prepare for knees, chest, chin. Inhale, scoop forward and up. Cobra. Exhale, down dog. Right leg forward. Left knee to the floor. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, step forward. This time modify if you'd like with Yoga Mudra. Knuckles up and away from you. Bend and scoop. This time come through chair, so forward and up as the arms reach. And exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms out wide as you lift and rise. Exhale, forward fold. Left leg back, low lunge. Inhale. Exhale, plank position. Again, prepping that knees, chest, chin. Inhale, scoop forward and up for cobra. Exhale, down dog. Left leg forward, right knee to the floor. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, step forward. We're going to add that modification. Interlace the fingers, Yoga Mudra. Then we've got to bend and scoop the knees. Bring the arms through, forward and up, hands touch. Exhale to the heart. Again, inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Right leg back, low lunge. Inhale. Exhale, plank. Knees down, chest, chin. Inhale, scoop forward. Exhale, down dog. Right leg through. Inhale up, low lunge. Exhale, step forward, add that Yoga Mudra. Bend and scoop, come through. Exhale, heart. Left side, inhale. Exhale, fold. Left leg back, low lunge. Inhale. Exhale, plank. Knees, chest, chin. Scoop forward and up. Cobra. Exhale, down dog. Left leg through. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, step forward. Forward fold, Yoga Mudra. Bend and scoop, come through. Inhaling. And exhale, hands to heart. We'll just rest here for a moment, arms by your side. And again, feeling all that prana, all that blood flowing through the body. Cleaning and clearing out stagnation. And we could think of that stagnation as being very similar to those limiting thoughts that we have, like roadblocks of, well, sorry, I can't go there. But is that really true? So once the heart starts to slow down, you can deepen the breath. And then we'll return back to that pattern of breathing, belly, ribs, chest. Really expanding through the heart. And then exhale, belly, ribs, chest. Good, one more. At the front of your mats again, big toes are touching, space between the heels or feet hip distance apart. Inhale, the arms reach up. And then exhale, forward fold. So we're going to step the left leg back first. And if you need extra padding under your knee, just flip your mat over. You can use a blanket, of course, if you need to. And then inhale, the arms reach up for low lunge. Now bring the right hand down to the thigh. Inhale the left arm as long as you can. Really lengthen that side body, so kind of exaggerate that back bend. And then exhale, lean into the lunge. Let the fingers reach toward the floor, but they don't have to touch. And then inhale, bring the arm back up. Really stretch through that left side body. And exhale, sink. Let the fingers reach, but they don't touch. 3 more, please, with your breath. Inhaling as you rise, exhaling as you sink. Steady gaze. Now on this last one, we'll inhale the left arm up and take that elbow to the outside of the right thigh. So fist with the bottom hand, cup with the top, and you can rotate into the twist here. Or if you prefer, you can have your hands in prayer. But either way, you're going to work that sternum towards the hand. So you're not sinking in the torso at all. You're not leaning the chest on the thigh. In fact, you're reaching up away from it. Navel's hugging the back body and rotating deeper to the right. And we're going to stay in this level 1 variation for now with the knee on the floor. So work the twist a little deeper. Inhale. If you need to back off the twist a little to get a full breath in, do that. And then as you exhale, as you pull the abdomen in, maybe you can go a little deeper. Two more full breaths here. Use your breath. Ujjayi. And then slowly unwind and just sit tall for a moment. Heel of your right hand pressing into the knee. Left hand just rests on top of the wrist. And feel the spine level out again. Now, using that heat, we're going to bend the back knee. Grab onto the top of the foot with a hand. And if you need to use a strap to grab the foot, that's perfectly fine. So press the right heel of the hand forward towards the knee for support. And keep drawing that left foot in. Inner thighs have to hug the midline to maintain balance. And this is your first option. Second option, grabbing the foot with both hands and just drawing that heel a little closer to the glute. So absorb the tailbone into the body, lift the lower belly for support. Breathe deeply here. See if you can get that breath all the way up into the chest, stretching into the shoulders, spreading the collarbones wide. One more. And for the last moment here, if you want to hold onto the foot and pull that foot back behind you, you can open up the shoulders, open up the chest, look up, and move into a slight back bend. And then watch the slingshot effect as you gently release that foot down, fingertips to the floor, step back to downward facing dog, and release your mat. Just find down dog for a moment and notice that left side. Observe. Good. Inhale to plank position. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, scoop forward. Sternum forward and up for cobra. And exhale to down dog. Now this time we'll step the left foot all the way through to the fingertips. So do what you can to get it up there. Flip the mat over. Lower the right knee down. If you need a blanket, use it. Inhale, both arms reach up. Low lunge on this side. Exhale the left hand down to the thigh. Inhale the right arm as long as you can and really stretch through that side body. Exhale, sink. Let the fingers reach, but they don't have to touch. Inhale, come up. Tailbone absorbs in. Lower belly lifts for support. Open through that right side body. Exhale. Good. Keep going. 3 more. Notice that as you absorb the tailbone in, maybe getting a little bit deeper into the stretch in the front of the thigh. You want it in the belly of the muscle rather than in the top of the joint. So you don't want to feel it there in the front of the hip. One more. Really getting into that quad, the thigh. Now we're going to take all that space you've just created, inhale up again, and bring that right elbow on top of the left thigh. Again, fist with the bottom hand, cup with the top, or hands into prayer position. Rotate the navel now to the left. Again, we're not sinking the chest or sinking into the joints. We're pressing down into them to lift up out of them and then really work that rotation. So full breath in on inhalation. On exhalation, navel pulls towards the back body and you've got a little more room to twist. Good, 2 more. Let it build some heat there in the core. And then you're going to gently unwind. Just press that hand into the knee and take a moment just to stabilize. Okay, bending the right knee, you're going to grab onto that foot with the hand as the left heel of the hand presses forward. Now just holding that space. Breathe here. If you're comfortable, try reaching back with both hands, drawing that heel in, lift the sternum. Make sure the heart feels open. Still have that tailbone in, still lower belly is lifting, and we're hugging those inner thighs toward the midline for a little more support. Breathe here, steady gaze. And these last few breaths, you want to get a good grip on that foot. You're going to let that foot move behind you and then open up the heart and just feel the sternum expand. Breathe here. And gently watch that slingshot effect. Release the foot down, release your mat, and step back to downward facing dog. And again, just feel right side and left. Remember, in the upper body, shoulder heads are rolling away from the ears. Hug the inner elbows toward one another. Press firmly through the web of index and thumb. And then we'll vinyasa again. So plank position. Exhale, bring knees to floor. Chest, chin. Inhale, scoop forward into cobra. Elbows and shoulders pull way back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Lunge your right foot forward to the fingertips. Stay high on the ball of the back foot this time. Fingers in a finger stand. So shin bone reaches away from the back heel, and you want to lighten the load on your fingertips. Let your sternum really push forward away from your back. So extending the spine as much as possible. And then when you're nice and steady, inhale, arms reach up and over the head. So we're going to lift on the inhalation, extend through the heart, take your gaze up a little bit, and then exhale, lower the shoulders down. Now, if balance is challenged by looking up, stay either at the horizon or down. Inhale, look up a little higher if you can, deep in the back bend. Exhale, the shoulders down your back. Inhale. Exhale. One more, inhale. And then exhale, we're going to bring fingertips to the floor, sweep the right leg all the way up in the air, open up the hip, stack right hip on top of left, and then bend the knee, draw the heel to the glute. If you'd like, you can slide the left forearm down, gaze up at the right inner arm, breathe deeply here. Feel everything expanding. One more. Now you can stay in this position, or you can bring the hands down again. Take the right foot behind you, pivot on the balls of both feet, and sweep the right arm up and over the head. And I sometimes like to do full arm circles here, just to get some mobility there in the joint. Opening up that heart. Create space by lifting the back side of the body towards the front. Good. And then we'll pivot on the ball of the left foot again. Take the right leg up in the air and exhale, downward facing dog. Other side. So we're going to step the left foot forward to the fingertips. Fingers in a finger stand to start. So just stabilizing the legs and feet. Press the front shin bone away from the back heel. So that same length between the inner thighs that you had at the very beginning, you want to feel that here as we activate. Lighten the load on your fingertips. Send your sternum forward a little bit more. When you're nice and steady, inhale, the arms reach up. Okay, Okay, so traditionally gaze would be up in a back bend. So if you can, look up a little bit, open up the heart, exhale, soften the shoulders down your back. If that's too uncomfortable for balance, look at the horizon or the floor. Again, inhale, back bend deepens, exhale, soften the back body. One more, inhale. Exhale. Now on this inhale, we're going to open into that back bend and then exhale, bring the fingertips to the floor and swing that left leg all the way up in the air and then stack the hip, left over right. Bend the knee if you'd like, draw the heel to the glute. Slide the right forearm down, gaze up at the left inner arm. All of these are options. Stay with the stage that feels right for you. Deepen the breath. Heart's beating. Send all that prana into the body. If you want for this last few, come off the forearm, plant the hands flat, pivot on the ball of the back foot, and come up into that half back bend here. If you want to do the full shoulder rotation, go ahead, but hug the back side of the body towards the front side of the body. Really create that lift. So you're lifting up out of the joints, getting a nice rotation, letting gravity do some of that work on the shoulder for you as you rotate. And then we'll pivot on the ball of the right foot again, setting the left leg all the way up in the air, and then downward facing dog. Take a moment to stabilize. And then bring the knees to the floor. Sit tall on your heels for just a moment, hands resting gently in the lap. Knees are together, Vajrasana. Keep finding that tailbone absorbs in, the lower belly lifts. And again, deepen the breath. Okay, so coming forward to the top of your mat, or if you happen to have a blanket, you can use a blanket. But if you don't, you can just flip the top of your mat down for a little extra padding underneath your knees. And we're going to stand tall on the knees. I like to tuck my back toes under, but you can keep the tops of the feet flat if you have more flexibility. We're going to move in and out of dynamic camel pose. So fingertips point up the back. Thumbs can rest down near the sacrum. Inhale, lean back, opening up the heart. Keep the hips in alignment with the knees. Exhale, use your core strength, pulling towards your back body to lift the sternum back up to neutral. Let's do that again. Inhale, leaning back. Maybe you get a little extra space this time, maybe not. Exhale, contract the abdomen, pull forward with the sternum. Good, we've got 3 more like that, please, with your breath. Inhale. Exhale. Now, as you get further back, it's tempting to want to drop the neck. Keep about 2 fingers in the base of the skull from the bottom of the neck so that you're not going to collapse into that vertebrae. Good, 1 more. And then once again, tops of the feet are going to ground. Sit back on your heels. Hands rest in your lap and rest. And these back bends tend to bring a lot of prana into the body. Their emphasis is on inhalation. So always taking the time to integrate that. Notice how you feel. Okay, we're going to go back into the same thing that we did a moment ago. You can either go dynamic, or this time you can go all the way back. So we'll all start by having the hands on the lower back for support. Inhale, lift the sternum, start to create that back bend. And then you can either stay there with the hands on the low back, you can move dynamically in and out, or you can reach back for the heels. Now, if you're going back for the heels and you lean back to do that, you've got to push the hips forward again so that the hips and knees are in alignment. And again, I really encourage keep about 2 fingers space in the back of the neck. Stretching into the heart, find the breath is doing the work now. Two more. And then to come out of it, you've got to pull the sternum forward as you contract the abdomen. And then once again, feet and knees are together. Sit on your heels. And if you absorb the tailbone into the body and lift the lower belly, that alone is going to feel like a little bit of a stretch there for the low back. Keep the spine long, neck neutral. Rest here, integrate. Go ahead, we'll release, bring the hands and knees back into tabletop position. Take a few moments here. We're just going to stretch the laterals for a moment. Look at your right hip and over your right shoulder as you tilt it slightly to the side. And now look at your left hip over your left shoulder and tilt your hip slightly to the left. And just do that a couple times. It's like wagging your tail. Very gentle here. Navel hugs the back body. Last one on the right. And then last one on the left. Good, and then back to neutral. And then we'll bring the knees into the earth, lift the toes, and squeeze the elbows tight. Chaturanga till the belly comes down. And then tops of the feet are going to ground. Turn your cheek to one side. And relax your arms by your side. And just feel the earth supporting you. So we did a lot of work there for the back. And those back bends, a lot of times gravity is taking the body. So one of the best type of back bends that we can do are the ones on the floor, where we have the support of the earth and we're just really working the muscles themselves that support the back. Turn your cheek to the other side. So in a few moments here, we're going to do some prone back bends. And nothing too crazy, just very gentle. Good, so bring your forehead into neutral on the mat, and then keep your hands back where they are, but palms are facing up. And we're just going to do more of a traditional Shalabhasana, locust pose. So on your inhale, your pubic bone is your grounding point. And you're going to lift your chest, your legs, your feet up off the earth. And then just come down and turn your cheek to a side. Do that again. Inhale. And feel like someone's pulling your arms back towards your feet as everything lifts up off the ground, slowly engaging those muscles. And then exhale, very mindful as you come back down. Keep going dynamically like this. Inhale. Now remember that feeling of really expanding the chest. And then exhale. Use your breath to lift. So as the body fills with prana, you're going to naturally release away. And then as you empty, you'll naturally come down. A couple more here, please. Good, one more. And then once again, rest. And if you'd like, you can cross your arms forward in front of you and just place your hands one on top of the other with the forehead resting there. Belly, ribs, chest breathing, exhaling, belly, ribs, chest. And then roll over onto your back. Square yourself off on your mat. We're just going to start with a little bit of simple Apanasana, knees to chest, hands on top of the knees, fingertips point towards the toes, just to release the lower back. So inhale the knees away from you, just to arm's distance. And exhale, knees to chest. Inhale away. Lighten the load on the hands so the abdomen's doing more of the work. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Keep going. Good. And then hands are going to go underneath the knees and roll yourself all the way up into a seated position. Coming into Janus Asana, extend your left leg out to the side. And we're taking a wide Janu here. And then bring the sole of the right foot into the inner thigh. Flex your left foot, engage the quad. Inhale, the arms reach up. And we're just going to move in and out laterally here. So exhale, floating on the inside of that left leg. Let the right arm reach up and over the head. And then inhale, come back up. Repeat that again. Exhale, softening on the inside of that leg, reach up and over the head. And then inhale, come back up. And one more. Exhale. Inhale. And now this time we're going to go down to stay. So we'll let that left arm float on the inside of the leg. If you can grab onto the foot, great. If not, don't worry about it. And the right arm can either reach straight up in the air, over the head, or you can grab the toes. Navel rotates to the right. Breathe deeply here. Head and neck is soft. Now, if you're really comfortable in this position, you can release the left hand to the inner thigh of the right and then just gently push that arm straight. So it gives you just a little extra stretch along the side body. But let go of the head and neck. Don't hold the tension there. Breathe deeply. Keep letting go. Navel hugs the back body on exhalation. One more. That right hand comes up in the air. You want to feel like someone's pulling you back up into a seated position. Then plant the right hand down. Sweep the left arm up and over the head and just do a nice circle here as you lift the hips off the floor. You can circle a couple times if you'd like for the shoulder. But what we're trying to do here is really engage the muscles of the back body. And then lower the hips back down and we'll switch sides. So right leg out, internal rotation of that thigh, left foot to the inner thigh. Engage the right quad, flex the foot, make sure the foot is not tilting. Inhale, the arms reach up. And then exhale, we're just going to float on the inside of that leg, arm over the head. And then inhale, come up. And do it again. Exhale. Each time, maybe you'll find a little extra space. It's the beauty of dynamic action. It creates more flexibility in the body. Exhale. Inhale, and then this time we're going to go down to stay. So just let that arm go on the inside of the leg. Palm faces up, or grab the foot if you have the flexibility. Left arm straight, over the head, or you're reaching for the toes. Navel's rotating to the left. Breathe deeply here. Soften the head and neck. Soften the gaze, or you can consider closing the eyes as we're moving towards the end of the practice. And if you have that flexibility, you can release that bottom arm, take it to the inner thigh of the left knee, left leg rather, and push it away. Keep letting go. And then lift that left arm up in the air. Again, you're going to imagine someone's just pulling you slowly back to standing or seated. And then left hand to the floor. Rotate up if you want to do a couple circles. Again, we're just reminding the back body to stay strong. Good. Cross the legs, Sukhasana to start. And then you're going to take your left foot on top of your right knee and your right foot directly underneath your left knee. So we used to call this double pigeon. They call it Agni Stambhasana, this fire log pose. But you're stacking the shins. And then if you looked between your legs, you should see a triangle without anything in the way. Now, if this is too uncomfortable to have the foot directly on the knee, you can also slide it down the shin. But the idea is to have the shins parallel. Okay. So fingers in a finger stand, sit as tall as you can. And lift that sternum. You can close the eyes. Again, all that expansion in the heart, all the space we've created. And then if you want, you could start to lean forward. And you can just stop at that first area of sensation. Now, it's going to be tempting to want to drop the heart, curl around the upper back. Don't let that happen. Think of the sternum pulling away from the pubic bone, just like when we were doing monkey pose, some of those other asanas, creating room in the spine, shoulder blades down the back. Head and neck is neutral, but as the body softens, you can keep going deeper into the pose, just listening. The more you deepen and concentrate your breath, the more the intelligence will tell you exactly what to do. Watch as you release tension on one side. You're not going to gather it into another side or some other place like the neck or the face. And then gently come back up. Take your time. And now we'll grab the outside of this foot and bring it into half lotus like we started. You can tuck the right foot back a little bit further and then just sit tall for a moment in half lotus. If that's uncomfortable, just say where you were. Okay, let's do the other side. So, right foot's going to go on top of the left knee this time. Left foot is directly underneath the right. And if you look between your legs, you see that triangle without anything in the way. Make sure that the shins are stacked. Flex the feet. That helps to protect the knee. Fingers in a finger stand. Lift the heart. So just sitting tall sometimes is enough to start getting into the sensation in that hip. But then if you want, you can lean forward just a little bit until you get a deeper sensation. Keep thinking of extending the spine so that the crown reaches away from the tailbone. And then just listen. Again, the intelligence inside the body will tell you exactly when to stop, and you won't be able to breathe anymore. It'll shorten your breath. So as long as you pay attention to that long, deep breath, you'll be able to tell where you need to be. And if you know your tendencies, maybe you need to check in with the jaw, the forehead. Sometimes there's gripping in the gut, or we're using the hands too much. There's all these little release valves, which release valve sounds lovely, but it actually takes us out of the pose. So we want to avoid those. And keep softening into the posture. Again, sometimes we think, oh, this is as far as I can go. But if you breathe and you surrender, sometimes we can break through those beliefs, those limiting thoughts. And then slowly come up. Take your time. Again, we'll grab the outside of that foot to take it into half lotus on this side. Sit tall. You can tuck the left foot under a little more if you'd like. And just feel. Hopefully there's a little more space in that half lotus now. A little more space in the hip. And for the last few moments, if you'd like, you can come into full lotus if that's possible and in your practice. Otherwise, just stay where you are. And then just sit for a moment and feel. One of the benefits of Padmasana full lotus is the idea that it locks the spine into a straight position. It automatically gives us the ability to practice that Treta Bandha, the lifting of the three locks, the pelvic floor lock, the navel lock, and then the chin lock. Holding and retaining energy in the spine, the area in our body of intelligence, the central nervous system. Where the manifestation of our ideas become reality. Good, last breath here. And then you can gently release if you're in half or full lotus, and we'll make our way onto the floor. If you want to put your socks and sweaters on before you go down, it's a good idea, especially if you're in a cooler room. So we'll come onto our backs, just hugging the knees into the chest. And take a little minute to roll from side to side on the spine, just giving a nice massage there for the lower back muscles, maybe some of the glutes getting a little massage. And then straightening your left leg, take your right knee all the way over to the left, and then scoot your hips back a few inches so that you don't feel as much of a strain in the lower back. And if you need support under your knee, just plant your hand there, or you can take a block underneath the knee. And we're going to inhale the right arm all the way up and over the head. So we elongate the right side body. And now exhale, bend the elbow like a goalpost arm and look over your right shoulder. So again, inhale, arm reaches up and over the head, getting as much length as you can, and then exhale and squeeze and rotate. Navel draws deeper to the right. Inhale, arm over the head. Exhale, spread the fingers wide as you bend that elbow down towards the rib cage. 2 more. And then we'll stay in the twist here on this last one. So you can look over the right shoulder, keep the elbow bent down, navel rotating to the right. Nice deep twist, keep breathing into it. Just to release that low back. Kind of squeeze those postural chain muscles, rotate them. And then come back onto your back, and you're going to need to square yourself off on your mat. Take a moment in neutral. And then straighten your right leg, hug the left knee into your chest. And then you're going to take that left leg over to the right, and you need to pick your hips up and shift them behind you. So left knee's bent, right leg straight, left arm goes up and over the head. You can place a block underneath the left knee if you need to, or your hand if you need a little extra support. And then exhale, bend the elbow down toward the rib cage, deepening the rotation. Inhale the arm over the head again, creating more length. Exhale. Squeeze, wring out. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Full, complete breaths as you're doing this. On the last one, you're going to stay. So keep that elbow bent into towards your rib cage, fingers spread wide, gaze over the left shoulder. Soften through the abdomen. Let the abdomen naturally float to the left. One more deep breath here. And then gently release. You're going to want to square yourself off on your mat, so take your time. If you'd like, you can just rest again with the feet flat, knees bent. Or you can let the tips of the knees come into one another and rest. And then one more final hug of the knees to the chest, just to make sure the low back is happy. And then we'll prepare for Shavasana. So final relaxation, extend the legs long to the floor. If there is any sensitivity in the low back from the back bending, you can always place the bolster underneath your knees. Bring your arms down by your side and tuck your shoulder blades underneath you. So we did so much work to open the heart. We want to keep that heart open. Palms face up. And then take a minute or two to really just settle into the earth. Again, remember that it takes about 30 seconds to acclimate. So as we change positions here, we just want to feel, for a moment or two, all those little micro adjustments we need to feel comfortable. And then as you settle onto the back and begin to really feel that the body is releasing, go to some of those key areas that we tend to hold tension in subconsciously. So feel the heaviness of the eyes. Feel the eyes being pulled by gravity towards the back of the skull. And then feel the forehead soften, like it was melting down towards the temples. And then notice the jaw. Make sure the teeth are parted slightly. The tongue sinks towards the back of the throat, releasing all tension in the jaw. And feel the back of the neck soften into the shoulders, which grow heavy and allow themselves to be supported by the earth. And any gripping in the abdomen, let the abdomen really grow soft. And instead of controlling the breath now, just the breath comes in and out with ease at its own pace. And feel how heavy the hips are, the glutes, the hips, the legs, these big muscles. They too are pulled by gravity. And both the hands and the feet are completely relaxed. So very slowly begin to deepen your breath. And just watch the rise and fall of the abdomen. Notice as the breath comes in that it enlivens the body. Every cell begins to wake up. And then run your fingertips across your thumbs, wiggle your toes. Maybe roll your wrists and your ankles. And without rushing, just gently draw your knees into your chest. And then curl to your right side into fetal position. Arm under the head as a pillow. Pressing down into the earth, slowly come back up into seated. So head and neck is heavy, eyes closed as you come up. And if you'd like to prop your sit bones up, sit for a minute with a tall spine, relaxed body. So the mind is a very powerful thing, and we often forget that throughout our day we are manifesting by the thoughts that we have in our mind, that's the beginning of manifestation, idea or inspiration. And so what kind of thoughts we constantly repeat, these will eventually play out. So just to remember the power of our mind, I would like to work with alternate nostril breathing, but without using the hand. Just using the power of the mind to move energy through the nostrils. So take a moment to inhale in through the left nostril, just using the power of your mind, and then exhale out the right. Very gentle, doesn't have to be an ujjayi breath, just a gentle nasal breath. Inhale through the right nostril now, and then exhale out the left. So you are creating an inverted V. Inhale in through the left nostril. It comes to about the third eye, or the bridge of the nose. And then exhale out the right nostril. And then inhale from the right to the third eye, space between the eyebrows, or very top of the nose. And then exhale out the left. Good. Again, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Keep going. So it's not as much of a feeling of the gross breath, the physical breath, as we have when we're using our hands. But can you notice that there's perhaps light or energy or movement of some sort happening through the power of your mind and intention? This isn't imagination, it's different. The more subtle and sensitive you grow, the more profound the feeling gets. And what you may begin to notice is the energy stays in the third eye, right in that space between the eyebrows, maybe a little bit brighter, a little more illuminated. As that meeting place between these two lines of energy grows brighter and stronger, if it gets to the point where it's really holding your attention, then you can release the technique by exhaling out the left nostril, and instead just hold your attention there at the third eye, gazing at that concentration of prana, maybe light or sensation. If the mind is quiet and steady, perhaps noticing within that white light a single pinpoint of blue light. Mind is steady, gazing at the third eye, perhaps sensing white light or a pinpoint of electric blue light. Allowing this light, in whatever form it takes, to represent your greatest and highest possibility. The highest reality. And keeping that good feeling with you, just slowly begin to deepen your breath. And just lower your chin. Bring your hands back together in front of your heart. Thumbs touching the sternum. And just go back to the intention that we set and trust that you received what you could receive from this practice and let the rest go. And we'll seal the practice with a chant of Om 3 times, again, with that creative energy. Deep inhale in. Long exhale out. Another deep inhale in. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for practice. Please like the video and share with family and friends, and subscribe to the channel. And in the description is a link to my Patreon account if you'd like to offer a donation for these wonderful classes. Namaste.